For the wig, I used gray yarn and I put it on a beanie. I would recommend finding a beanie that's loose fitting and kind of has texture to it, where you can stuff the yarn down into the holes of the beanie. And I just draped it, starting in the front, draping it into sort of hair patterns. I just used a little bit of yarn at a time. And you can just stuff it into the beanie. You can do braiding, whatever pattern you're trying to create. For that, I kind of figured out a way to get a lot of the hair into sections and then braiding it. Here you can see me kind of stuffing it in and glue gunning. And that's one thing with the wig, you have to remember, because you're painting it, it's okay if, there's glue, or if everything's not quite perfect, you can kind of arrange the yarn almost like you're hairstyling once you get it on. Now, this is my daughter. I made the mistake of making her wig a little too big because I was using the same styrofoam to measure it that I had used for mine, and she has a much smaller head, so I had to really adjust and take a lot of that hair off. That's one thing I would recommend. If you're doing this for a child, make sure that you're measuring them as you go. The paint that I'm using there is over for the white, and it is actually a bonding. It's called Valspar's Bonding Primer and Sealer. You can just get that at Lowe's. You can see there I had measured Ivy's head and put it on a ball so that it could dry. A lot of times I use, just kind of do it as I go. I don't know what's going to work, and glue obviously works for the dress and the wig, but when I was doing the wings, I made them out of styrofoam. You can see that's a big styrofoam that you can buy also at Lowe's, and you can cut out the wings with just paper. I used paper, that's actually wrapping paper, to give me a pattern, and I just cut it out with an X-Acto knife. And then you can sand it to create individual pieces of the wing. This was my least favorite part, so my husband helped me a lot with this. He glued also with the same white that you see in the wig. It's that bonding and primer sealer, which you can actually add paint to if you want. And that is how we use the glue. The bonder is actually an adhesive, so it helped keep the wig together, and I'm using it there on the dress, you can see, for the white part of